Right 'em good. What's up, everybody? How's everybody doing? Sorry I haven't made any videos lately, but I've been a little bit busy. My wife just came back to town and brought the final piece of the puzzle, as you see before you. Probably doesn't look like much for those of you who don't know what you're looking at, but let me tell you. This is, and yes, I'm biased in saying this, the best bicycle in the world. Anyway, somebody had asked me if I was back on the bicycle because apparently they followed me for a while. They watched my channel, my videos, and they know that I had some knee issues, which is what kept me off the bicycle. Something that I've always loved, riding. Anyway, the knees are good. Now that I'm on a carnivore diet, those issues have been resolved. And then some. I'm actually stronger. So now that the bicycle, my masterpiece, is complete, I've been riding quite a bit. Well, I've been putting it together, testing it out, so on and so forth. It's not supposed to look like much, all right? That's the point. And I don't really care what it looks like. It's not about that. It's about what it does. And what it does is kick ass. Let's geek out a little bit. If you don't care about shop talk or bicycles or shit like that, then, well, you could fast forward a little bit, right? I had this frame custom made in Montana. Oh, I don't know. It's coming up on 10 years now, by this welder who is unfortunately no longer in business, but man, he made some wonderful bicycles. I had this one custom made to fit me perfectly, and well, it does exactly that. I think the guy's name was Ram Blumtik or something like that. His last name, I think Dutch maybe, not sure. Anyway, he welded me this awesome frame that has frame couplers underneath here. Obviously they're covered because this compartment houses the battery for the motor that you see there. Anyway, you could run this frame as a cyclocross basically with 700 wheels, or you could run it as a hardtail with 26-inch fat tires, or as you see it here, fully rigid, exactly that. Very versatile frame. You could probably turn it into a road bike if you wanted to. I don't see why not. Well, with disc brakes. Anyway, right now it's set up as a 26-inch off-road touring bicycle, as you can see, with these Surly racks, front and back. Surly, what is this bike called? I used to have the Surly Longtail Big Dummy, that's what it was called. I used to have a Big Dummy. Now I just have the fork. I put it in here. The front hub is a Crystalite 35 HS something or other. There it is, HSF 3540. Gearless motor, something like that. The rear hub is a marvel of German engineering. Absolutely the best. Roll-off 14-speed internal geared hub made in Germany. I mean, many have tried to imitate the originator, but they just can't do it. This thing will last you a lifetime as long as you take care of it, and it's the best bicycle transmission ever. I absolutely love it. I've had it for many years, and it has never faltered. Other than that, yeah, pretty nice rig, especially for these mountains here. You know, you could ride it without the electric motor, but man, it makes it so much fun to have that. So it's a front and rear wheel drive, I guess 2x2, I don't know what you'd call that. Check out my seat. Don't laugh. It's the only one that feels good. it is what it is. Anyway, this thing on the flat, no pedaling, can get up to 60 kilometers per hour. What is that in miles? 35, I want to say. I'm not sure. Anyway, this is the best bicycle on the planet, trust me, because I say so. Anyway, we're gonna stop geeking out and let's talk a little bit about mate. My mate. Don't worry, I'm not gonna whip it out. Well, kind of. In one of my videos, I talked to you guys about me trying high meat for the first time and not having a clue that I was actually eating high meat. And what I was talking about was what the locals here call cecina, which is essentially beef jerky. So one of my neighbor's cows rolled down one of these mountains, not this mountain, but one mountain over yonder, rolled down the mountain, killed itself, poor thing, and let me take a bite. And they turned it into this, basically. So they take this meat, and as you can tell, it's pretty lean because, well, that's just what happens with grass-fed animals. They come out pretty lean. Man, this stuff's delicious. And they basically slice the meat thinly and hang it out to dry in this hot Ecuadorian sun. Sometimes they'll light a fire for smoke to keep the bugs off. Sometimes not. In this weather, when it's hot and dry, it'll dry in about 3 days. Doesn't really ferment very much. I guess it's aged, you could say. But if it's a little bit more humid, it'll get a little more funky, kind of like high meat. It'll take longer to air dry, and that's really it. It kind of feels and looks like leather. The only thing they put on it is salt. It's absolutely delicious. It tastes like beef jerky without all that extra bullshit on it. It's just raw meat, sun-dried raw meat. Really good. You can rip it and chew it with your monkey teeth just fine. Not a big deal. And yeah. I hope to get back to making, let me go for a little bit of a walk here. Making some videos hopefully soon. I just haven't had much time. Been busy with my baby over there and my baby over there now that she's home. Missed her very much. But I hope to get back to making some videos. Some housekeeping. I hope you don't mind me eating and talking at the same time. So that debate I had with Perspective Philosophy, Lewis, I'm sure you guys remember, for those of you who saw it, how he kept talking about how he's going to bring studies and we're going to talk studies and all this other stuff. I knew he wouldn't. Or maybe he will once he sees this. But right after we had our talk, I sent him an email saying, hey, bring the studies, let's talk, because this shit don't exist, man. You've been lied to, you've imagined shit. But bring the studies and we could discuss the studies. I haven't gotten an answer from him, so go figure. But about that debate, you know, it's cute how vegans think that they automatically assume that they have the higher ground, if you will, when it comes to health, right? Even though all these vegans all around us are failing on this shit diet, they still are deluding themselves thinking that, well, this is the healthiest diet for the human being, or at the very least, an acceptable one. So, well, that point's never going to get challenged in a debate, right? Let's just go straight into philosophy. Let's talk about ethics. And I'm like, how the fuck do you talk about ethics completely ignoring the fact, right? If you want to talk about suffering of animals, and I know I'm preaching to the choir, and many of you already know this and have said this yourselves, but I think it makes sense to keep pointing this out because it makes sense. You know, how do you minimize the suffering of animals, all animals, while at the same time ignoring the fact that it seems that only a very small percentage of our human population on this planet can sustain the vegan diet, and only for a few years, very, very few of them for a couple of decades, if you are to believe that they don't cheat on the diet, which, well, I'm not naive, are you? Anyway, it's cute how vegans think that everybody just agrees with them. They think that they no longer have the burden of proof to prove that this diet actually works. They think that it's scientifically proven, while everybody around us is getting fucking sick, right? These people live in La La Land, and I'm no longer interested in debating any vegan without first addressing this very salient point. How do you can't ignore that, okay? It's completely and utterly hypocritical. It's presumptuous. The whole worldview is built on an assumption that the diet works, while we know that the diet works for everybody, while we know that reality is actually different. So, you know, homeboy's not going to bring any studies. He's not interested in actually having a debate that is grounded in reality and actually means something, right? It's actually something where we could learn something practical. These vegan philosophers are mainly interested in a sparring session, if you will, a fencing match in fucking La La Land, and I'm not. So it is what it is. He ain't coming with the studies. They don't exist. But I'm supposed to be talking to One Punch Vegan about some other studies. But, you know, we'll get to that when we get to that. But there's going to be a debate on the horizon, so long as he doesn't duck me with that guy. And there we will discuss some studies. You know, I have a lot of different ideas for a lot of different videos, not a whole bunch of time. And, man, this stuff is good. It looks like something that was run over by a car and, well, sun-dried. And as far as the whole Tufano thing, because some people, you know, got a little bit triggered and came at me with this homophobe nonsense. Why the fuck would anybody be scared of a gay guy, first and foremost? Secondly, saying that the boy takes it up the ass is not a homophobic statement if he takes it up the ass. And if you reacted to that unfavorably, well, then you have a problem probably with Frank taking it up the ass. And if he doesn't take it up the ass, I mean, no, you're in gay erotica, okay? You do some other gay flick. You put makeup on. You act like a fag in a whole bunch of your videos. You don't have a girlfriend, and come on, really? But maybe he's not gay. Maybe he's just a faggot. Shout out to, you know who you are. I completely agree. You don't have to be gay to be a faggot. But, you know, ain't nobody scared of gay people, okay? First and foremost. Secondly, the only point I was trying to make is that 2 points. The guy's a fraud, and, you know, diet isn't everything, right? How you treat yourself, specifically how much sleep you get, is also very important. And my problem with some people like that in the community is the fact that they're fucking up the data set, right? We're not getting very good data with these people because, well, we don't have all the information. We don't have all the data, right? And basically, on top of that, the guy is lying about how long he's been carnivore. I mean, he's contradicted himself so many times in his videos. All you gotta do is watch them to know this. So we got this guy pushing the carnivore diet, saying that it's done all these things, blah, blah, blah. But shit just doesn't add up, okay? It doesn't make sense. And it gives people false hope, or it misrepresents what the diet can actually do for you. Doesn't give the diet, its full justice. It's just a bad data set, okay? Because the guy's full of shit. He's more interested in being famous than actually making this shit work. Now, obviously, they kind of go hand in hand, but, when it comes to someone like Paul Saladino and Frank Tufano having a problem with the guy putting collagen on, on his burgers and shit like that, Frank's, the little bit of YouTube success that he's gotten has gone to his head so much that he thinks he's some kind of a originator, which he's not, that he's like the prince of the movement, if this movement even exists, you know what I mean? He basically thinks his shit don't stink, and well, of course it does. Everybody's shit stinks. And it's gotten to a point, in my opinion, where his personal beefs are overshadowing the message, right? A lot of people have, for example, healed themselves, their achy joints, what have you, with collagen, right? But Frank, because he has a problem with Saladino and he wants to discredit him for no apparent reason, while he's himself running around repeating shit that I've said, original statements that I've made in my videos, it's okay for him to, and it's completely fine for him to run around repeating what other people say. But as soon as he hears somebody else say something that he said before, he gets all insecure and butthurt, like, come on, man, you're a clown. To a point where it seems to me like the message is suffering, because he goes and he cherry picks some kind of study that supposedly shows that there may be some detriment to consuming, collagen apart from the collagen that's already contained in your food, right? Like hydrolyzed collagen or gelatin or what have you. He goes out there, cherry picks a study that doesn't really prove anything. He's basically being like those vegans, like Mike, whatever the fuck his name is. Those skinny freaks. I'm not that skinny, guys. I don't know what the hell you're talking about. I'm fit, bitch. Anyway, it's gotten to a point, in my opinion, where personal beefs are compromising the message, basically, right? And Frank is trying to make it seem like collagen is detrimental to you and you shouldn't eat it, when there's plenty of anecdotal evidence and mechanistic data that says that, it's actually very helpful and it makes sense to eat it. And I feel like it has helped me, for example. And if you don't eat spinach or these other high oxalate foods, your body can handle some amounts of oxalate if that's what happens with some of the glycine contained in the collagen. It gets turned into, oxalates. Well, whatever, man. That's all I'm saying. It's gotten to a point where Frank, who used to be a pretty humble guy, sickly looking, no energy having, humble guy, into like this, a fucking Guido, basically, who thinks his shit doesn't stink and he thinks he can attack any and everybody simply because they disagree with his dogmatic view of the world. So fuck him. Can't stand the conceited prick. I used to like Frank Tufano when he was humble and cool, but now he's just a conceited prick, and it's just fucking cringeworthy, man. Watching the dude is just fucking cringeworthy. Talking about how pretty he is, like, dude, you're average, all right? No homo, homie. You're average. You're just an average little New York kid. Really, honestly, like, ain't nothing special about you, homie. Not that I'm special or anything like that, but, I don't fucking fool myself. So, it is what it is. I'm going to eat a little bit more of this, get on my bike, go about my day, do my shit. So, thank you for joining me. Thanks for watching. Sorry about chewing and talking at the same time, but, I guess I'm versatile like that. Take it easy.